Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban knife style and jungle survival. Today we're going to have a look at the Leatherman Signal, and I'll share with you why I think this is not the multi-tool for bushcraft, but I do think it's perfect for something else. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. Thanks. The Leatherman Signal is a very popular multi-tool designed for outdoor adventures, and many people use it for camping, hiking and bushcraft. Now I did buy it, but I didn't buy it specifically for bushcraft. I'm going to share with you my thoughts why I think it is not the multi-tool for bushcraft but for something else instead. So let's first check it out. So this is the box that the Signal comes in, and I chose to get one which was black with silver hardware and these yellow accents for the removable tools over here. It does come with a nylon pouch that you can wear on your belt as well. And underneath here, no instruction manual or anything. Well, that's what it came with. But let's have a look at the tool itself. I'm not going to do an in-depth review because there are many videos on the Leatherman, but I'll just highlight some key points, especially the features that are designed for outdoor use. So this is quite a big multi-tool. It's quite hefty, and you can get access to the blades on the outside, and it's a one-handed opener like that. There is also a liner lock which you can depress and you can close the blade. This is a combo blade, straight and serrations, and it's pretty thick as well. So overall, quite, I think, good in terms of tasks that you want to do for outdoors. Definitely, I think it can do most tasks that you would require. There's also a saw over here. So that's a wood saw. I will be field testing this in time to come and comparing it with other Leatherman tools as well as the Victorinox saw as well. And there is a hammerhead pommel over here, so you can use this to hammer in tent stake pegs if you like. Now most people might hammer it this way, not such a good idea as it might slip and you can hurt yourself. Better to put your hand over just like that to hammer it, so there's no way that your hand can slip and get hurt. There's also a carabiner, nice and big, so you can hook this onto your belt or on your pack. So really, as you can see, designed for outdoor use. There's also that belt clip if you want, or deep carry pocket clip if you like. But the real tools that make it, I guess, outdoorish would be these tools. Oh, by the way, there's also this clip over here, which is quite a nice feature that prevents this from swinging open. So there's a metal clip that you can just pull down just like that, and that locks into place. So of course, being a Leatherman, there is the pliers with the wire cutters, and over here we do have a few tools. There's a can opener, there's an awl, very important for outdoor use as well, to drill holes or to punch canvas or leathers or repairs. And there is a driver over here. So this is not a fixed driver. This uses the driver bits, or the screwdriver bits, which you can of course buy the extra kit for, and you can keep that separately, and then you can interchange the bits for that for your driver needs. Other than that, the tools would be the ones that you can remove, and let's start off with this one over here, and that's the diamond sharpener over here. You depress that and just push that down, and this can be removed, and you can use this to sharpen your blades or your knives, or the blade for the Leatherman itself. And to put it on, just push it back. So very easy to take on and put take off and put on, but at the same time quite secure. Now the other tool is this. This is a ferro rod as well as a survival whistle. Now to remove that, all you need to do is pull this. You can see there's a metal clip right there. Kind of pull that, and you can kind of pop this out. Probably this is new, so there's a bit of stiffness, but I'm sure over time that will come out easier. But you don't want it too loose as well. So that's the ferro rod, and that's the whistle that you can blow in. So pretty good as well. And to put it back, you just want to make sure that there's a little groove over there that gets in line here, and then you can just press this in place. That metal spring clip will just go out of place, and that's it. So really easy as well to put in and to take out. So in terms of the design, I think actually this is really nicely designed. In terms of the thought put in, the engineering to put everything together, I think that's pretty impressive. And overall, if it's intended for outdoor use, I can definitely see how the functionality has been thought about and designed for that. So definitely I'll give that, 10 out of a 10 for that. Now, as a result, since this was designed for outdoors, a lot of people have thought it would be great for camping and bushcraft and things like that. Well, let's talk specifically about bushcraft. Is this multi-tool great for bushcraft, and should you carry it if you are engaging in bushcrafting activities? Of course, we should discuss what your own interpretation of bushcraft is, because everyone might have different definitions, but by and large, definitely things like wood prep, fire making, maybe food processing, and general cutting tasks are probably the things that most people would associate with bushcraft, including things like shelter making, but primarily working with wood, working with cordage, and maybe working with natural items like plants and things like that. So bearing those things in mind, is this something that you, if you are a bushcrafter, should carry? So my contention, it is not the multi-tool for bushcraft. I know that might seem surprising. I actually think the rebar, also another Leatherman tool, is a better tool for bushcraft. And I've also explained why in a previous video. You can check out that link in the card above or the description below. I'll just quickly talk about tool sets. So there is a different tool set. First of all, you can also see that there's a size difference because of that. The rebar is much thinner, it's lighter, and it's more compact. And you maybe visually you don't see that there's a vast difference, but definitely in the hands you feel that. And I'm sure if it's in your pocket or if you're carrying in your pouch, if you talk about adding weight to the gear that you carry, you would definitely feel it over a while. Now there are some key differences. All the tools on the inside for the rebar, you can't do any one-handed openers, and of course we talked about the access to the outside tools over here. Of course, there is the pliers, and there are all the tools on the inside. Now, there's no ferro rod, whistle, or sharpener for that, although there's a metal file, which technically could be used to sharpen some tools in a pinch. Now, the reason why I think this is a better tool than the Signal for bushcraft is because it is smaller, it is slimmer. The ergos are actually better when you use it. And if you're thinking about bushcraft tasks where you're going to be using it for extended periods or for a lot of tasks, you're always going to pull it out. You want something that's comfortable in your hand. Now this also has many more tools that you can get at. There are also two blades. There's a serrated blade and there is the straight blade. Now the blades are smaller and they are thinner than the one on the Signal. So yes, that is important to note. And I have shown the tests for this, and you can check out that video as well, where these blades are actually very effective. Now they are thinner, but for bushcraft needs, they can do the job. And now you have two blades instead of one combo blade over here. There's also the saw, which is very capable, but you've got a multitude of different tools as well. And there's also drivers. So one comment I've made previously about drivers, screwdrivers and stuff, these will not fall out. You can't lose them. Now with a driver here, which uses those bits, it's very possible you might lose them. They can fall out and you might lose them, and that's it. Here, it's all one solid piece. You will not lose them, and you do have Phillips head, and you do have flat heads, both a smaller one and a bigger one. So in terms of that functionality and that solidness, I think it's even better for bushcraft, even though you might not use them all the time. One thing I would say about the rebar, yes, you need some breaking in. I've talked about that as well. With the Signal, I would say hardly any breaking in needed. It is very smooth, very easy and comfortable to open and close. So what else do I think? Why do I think the things like a ferro rod and the sharpener aren't so important? They are important, but for someone who's generally doing bushcraft, they will be carrying a dedicated ferro rod and a striker. In this case, there's also a whistle built in here. And in terms of sharpening tools, they might carry a stone or a diamond plate, something small like that, which is a dedicated tool. This is great to have in a tool, but it's quite small, and if you're really going to be going out, this is more of an emergency ferro rod than something you actually be using. So personally, I can't see myself. If I'm doing bushcraft, I'm doing tasks, going camping, I won't be using this ferro rod all the time. It's gonna just, you can replace this of course, but this is gonna wear out very quickly, and you have to access it, get it out. It's just not as convenient as having a dedicated ferro rod. And I'm sure most people who are pretty serious in bushcraft or enthusiastic about it will have their own ferro rod and probably have their own backup ferro rod or even a lighter as well. Or like I do, I have a fire kit. And many people have that as well, so many redundancies. So therefore, if you bring this out for bushcraft, you aren't going to really use these tools because you're probably going to have dedicated tools already. So the rebar then becomes, in my opinion, a better bushcraft tool. Now, the way I use the rebar, so this is what I bring out for bushcraft, is part of my emergency survival kit, and it's really an emergency or backup tool. It's not a primary tool as I would use, and I don't think actually a multi-tool is a great primary tool. If you want a kind of multi-tool, I would go with a Swiss Army knife, and this is my ultimate Swiss Army survival knife that I've put together. I've done a video on this as well, so you can check that out. And in a sense, this is almost like a signal in terms of the things it has. It's got a whistle, it's got a compass, there's tinder, there's a ferro rod, more tinder material over here. So it's got a lot of the functionality that the signal has, but it is much more ergonomic. So if you are going to use the blade, and that's generally what you'll be using a lot for bushcraft, this is much more comfortable to use. Get a much better grip and feels better. And of course, there's also that very capable wood saw as well. So in my opinion, this, you know, can do almost everything that this does. Of course, it doesn't have a pair of pliers, that's why it's almost, but it is more comfortable, and of course it's significantly cheaper. Even to put together this custom kit, it's cheaper than getting the Leatherman Signal. Well, those are my reasons for not having the Signal as a multi-tool for bushcraft. Then why did I buy it? Well, because I think this is the perfect all-in-one multi-tool for a survival kit, specifically an urban survival kit, where these items might be needed, but only in emergency. Now, in terms of that functionality, and I'm not so worried about the ergos in that sense because it's really for emergency use, I think this fits perfectly. It's got that tool set, the emergency things I might need. I won't carry those separately, especially in an urban survival kit, or actually cut down those items for me, and everything is, you know, self-contained within the Leatherman Signal. But that's what I think. So this would go into my urban emergency kit, and I'll be showing you one kit in the near future. But what do you think? Do you think that the Signal is the perfect multi-tool for bushcraft, or do you agree with me and think that it's better in some kind of an urban or even outdoor survival kit? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.